Kodak Black got arrested for drug trafficking charges. The crazy part is that the police found his fingerprints on a prescription bottle and cough syrup when they pulled another person over in a car and it wasn't him. It's tied from a November 2025 case. They said Kodak did surrender. He turned himself in. His lawyer Baffer said that the charges have a weak legal basis, and they look forward to another fruitful resolution. Another case that should have never been filed. Free Kodak. There's some bullshit. And of course, we know he ain't in that car. What evidence do they have? I feel like they should be able to beat this. I don't know what it is, but Kodak gotta get up out of Florida, man. You don't see what's going on? When it's gonna be enough? When it's too late? What this sound like to me, the person who got pulled over got the chirping, got the yapping. He probably got busted, was scared, blaming it on Kodak, said that he probably left it in the car, going to take it to him, or made it seem like Kodak sold it to him. The feds been on his head, and they probably been building a case against him. And everybody in the world know that's a lie.
Not the fact that you're a rapper, I think that has no binding, but the other factors that the court considered is your prior criminal history, including 12 prior felony convictions, 2 misdemeanor convictions, 1 failure to appear. That was quite some time ago, so I'm not giving a ton of weight to the failure to appear, but I think an appropriate bond in this case would be $75,000, so that's going to be what the court sets the bond at.
Kodak Black's story is one of the clearest examples of how talent alone does not guarantee peace, stability, or longevity. Because no matter how gifted a person is, if they keep putting themselves in dangerous situations, eventually the consequences start catching up. And with Kodak, it feels like every time people think he's finally turning a corner, another situation pops up that puts his freedom, reputation, or career back under a microscope. When Kodak first came into the rap game, a lot of people looked at him as one of the most naturally talented artists of his generation. His pain sounded authentic, his delivery was unique, and he had a way of turning street experiences into music people could actually feel. Songs like No Flockin' helped influence an entire wave of rap artists after him. Whether people want to admit it or not, Kodak helped shape a sound that became extremely influential in hip-hop. But while his music career kept climbing, trouble followed right behind it. Kodak Black has dealt with multiple arrests and legal situations over the years, ranging from weapons charges, probation violations, drug-related allegations, assault accusations, and other run-ins with law enforcement. At certain points, it seemed like he was spending almost as much time fighting legal battles as he was making music. And when that happens repeatedly, eventually people start asking themselves one big question: does this person truly want peace, or are they addicted to chaos? That's the hard conversation surrounding Kodak Black, because talent has never really been the issue. The issue has always been decision-making. A lot of fans feel like Kodak is one of those artists who could have reached an even bigger level if he stayed focused and protected his opportunities better. We're talking about a rapper who already had major success, millions of fans, industry support, platinum records, and the ability to feed generations of his family. Most people would think somebody in that position would move extra carefully. But with Kodak, it always feels like trouble is right around the corner. And eventually, people stop looking at incidents individually and start seeing a pattern. One thing people constantly bring up is his apparent substance abuse struggles. Over the years, fans have seen moments where Kodak looked unhealthy, overly intoxicated, emotionally unstable, or disconnected from reality. And while social media jokes about these moments, addiction in real life is not entertainment. It destroys discipline, it clouds judgment, and it can make somebody self-destruct even while they're winning. That's the scary part. Kodak has enough talent to be remembered as one of the greats from his era. But drugs, legal issues, and reckless behavior keep overshadowing the music itself. Sometimes it feels like the headlines become bigger than the songs, and that's dangerous for any artist, because eventually people stop talking about your growth and start expecting your downfall. A lot of people also feel like Kodak struggles with inner peace. You can have money, jewelry, cars, fame, and still be fighting personal demons nobody fully understands. Sometimes people who grow up around trauma become so used to dysfunction that peace actually feels uncomfortable to them. So when life finally becomes stable, They subconsciously create chaos because chaos is what feels normal. And Kodak's career has looked like that at times. Every time it seems like he's focused, another controversy appears. Every time people start celebrating the music again, another arrest, another video, another incident, or another concerning moment surfaces online. It's almost like he's battling himself more than anybody else. What makes the situation even sadder is that Kodak has shown flashes of intelligence, maturity, and self-awareness in interviews before. There are moments where you can tell he understands the consequences surrounding him. He has even spoken about pain, betrayal, depression, and addiction in ways that sound genuine. That's why so many fans continue rooting for him, despite all the problems. People see the potential, but potential only matters if it's protected. The streets don't care about talent. The prison system doesn't care about platinum records. And addiction definitely doesn't care how famous somebody is. Once substance abuse takes control, it can make a person slowly destroy everything they worked for. Relationships suffer. Trust disappears. Opportunities vanish. And the people around you either become enablers or they walk away completely. That's why Kodak's story can actually serve as a lesson for younger artists coming up behind him. Success means nothing if you can't maintain it. Anybody can get hot for a moment. The real challenge is staying free, staying focused, and protecting the position you worked so hard to reach. Because once legal problems and addictions become a cycle, escaping that cycle becomes harder every year. And another important lesson here is accountability. A lot of celebrities blame the police, the streets, their friends, or the industry every single time something goes wrong. But eventually there comes a point where a person has to look in the mirror. If trouble follows you everywhere you go for years, at some point you have to ask yourself whether you're accidentally inviting that energy into your life. That doesn't mean Kodak is a bad person. It means he's a talented person battling destructive habits. And sadly, hip-hop has seen this story before. Artists get rich but never mentally leave survival mode. They continue moving recklessly even after becoming successful. Instead of slowing down and evolving, they keep feeding the same behaviors that almost destroyed them before fame. Some survive it. Some end up incarcerated for years, and some lose their lives completely. That's why people continue hoping Kodak Black eventually finds stability before it's too late. Because underneath all the controversy is still an artist with rare talent and a fan base that genuinely wants to see him win. But eventually, talent alone stops being enough. Discipline has to take over. Healing has to take over. Accountability has to take over. Otherwise, the cycle just repeats itself. And right now, that's what many people feel when they look at Kodak Black's journey. A gifted artist constantly fighting against his own downfall, while the world watches to see whether he finally changes or whether the streets, addiction, and chaos eventually consume the talent completely.